Robin Irick to over 500 employees at gaming. The SiGMA pitch is back, bringing together investors worth billions and 10 startups. 10 finalists with bright ideas and a solid proof of concept. Meet the self-made entrepreneurs who are willing to mentor, invest in startups, and who understand what it takes to build a successful iGaming business. Simon Collins from New Game brings a wealth of experience to the pitch and an investment fund that focuses on gaming innovation. Morton Klein, a property mogul from the Klein Group, has vested interest in e-commerce and iGaming companies throughout Europe, including Yggdrasil, Cherry and Come On. Robin Irick Reed, CEO to over 500 employees at Gaming Innovation Group. The company makes great products designed to power and grow iGaming operators and suppliers. Ori Weiss, co-founder and CEO of XL Media, runs the largest public-listed affiliate company for gaming worldwide. Carla Marie Vella, CEO of Optimizer Invest, manages one of the most diverse and successful portfolios in gaming, featuring Catena Media, Easy Payment Gateway, and many more. And Stuart Vasey, lead consultant for technology, Partis Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, our hosts for this year, Ivan Filetti and David Sargent.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's the startup pitch, so some more energy, please. Good afternoon, everybody.
Whoa!
That's it. You know, the startup pitch at SiGMA is one of the most prestigious events in this great show. And if I had to take a quote from the Navy SEALs, they would say, the only easy day was yesterday. And being a founder and an owner of a startup is certainly no easy day. And we just want to bring this to mind, that there were 40 companies and 40 startups who actually applied for the startup pitch. All right? And I know they are here in the room. So can you please stand up? We want you all to stand up. I want you all to stand up. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And we're going to play a song for you. Where are you? Come up. Up, up, up.
What all the startups?
Okay. So, when it comes to being a startup, you need a breakthrough idea. You need perseverance, and your numbers have to bring home the meat. So today, as you're seeing, they will face the firing power of 7 key industry professionals who will put them through their paces. Today, we are going to see who's going to battle and win the much-coveted SiGMA Startup Pitch of the Year. David.
Okay, so this is going to be really tough for the guys, because they only get 3 minutes to pitch. So that's really tough to get your big idea over in 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, their microphones will be cut. We then move on to Q&A. So the judges have 5 minutes of questioning, and once again, after 5 minutes, they'll be cut. So we need really insightful, snappy questions from you guys, okay? And then after each startup, they'll be marked out of 10 by every judge. And at the end of the contest, the startup with the most points will win the coveted prize.
So,
I think we better get going.
Let's get going. Thank you.
The first startup's Bot Gaming.
Hi. Mike? Hello. Hi, I'm Sam from Bot Gaming. And what we do is we have blockchain-based messenger games for messengers, and we do that through bots. So my presentation is a little out of order here, but we're going to skip ahead. So the reason that we use blockchain, is 3 things. So first of all is smart contracts that allow us to lock the funds at the beginning of the session and at the end of the session. The second reason is that the blockchain provides a hash, which we then use to generate the seed for our pseudo-random number generator. We provide the public key for that seed at the beginning of the session. We provide the private key to that seed at the end of the session, which means that the user can go back and see that his game was actually provably fair. And the third reason that we use the blockchain for is that we're able to generate an ERC20 token. In this case, it's called BOT, and it essentially acts as our chips. So you're able to buy it in our ICO as well as on the open exchange, and we're going to reward affiliates with it. And it will provide real money gambling through the messenger. So right now, we're actually pretty popular. We're the #1 bot on Telegram for PokerBot. We have 400,000 installs. We have 35,000 monthly active users, and we have 4 games right now. So when we talk about messengers, we're actually talking about Facebook chat, Telegram, WeChat, and the reason that these are so powerful is that everybody in the world uses them. We can have an extremely low barrier, low cost of entry to actually get to the people who actually want to play our games. So inside the messenger apps, if we're doing our advertisement through there, we can see customer acquisition rates of close to a penny in some cases. Additionally, it's extremely frictionless to install the bot in Telegram. I don't know how many of you use it, but it literally takes 2 taps, and that's it. Less than 5 seconds to install the bot. So we know that we have a great way to grow the platform, and we know that people are moving to mobile, and we want to have a place where people around the world in maybe India or South America, or people that don't have access to VR technology and high-end iPhones can have a way to be able to access good gaming and be able to play poker and a range of other games. So we have our, so we're planning on growing to 130,000 users next year, and then 500,000 monthly active users the year after that. And after the ICO,
Here we go. Okay, it's pretty tough for 3 minutes. We got questions from the panel?
So what do you do for KYC?
so the KYC implementation we're working on now.
Yeah, sure, yeah, this one, yeah, don't worry.
So the KYC implementation we're working on now, we've been speaking with a few providers. So
The names? Oh, no,
at the
this is
moment,
one.
once you hit a certain threshold, you'll have to go through the KYC process. We'll build it into the bot where it's just a one click. It'll take you to another platform where they'll either have an account there, and then, or they'll just get verified and then they'll come straight back to the game.
All right.
Thanks.
Can you walk us through in a second from the person using IM and then getting referred? What's the flow?
Right. So do you have Telegram?
I have others, but yeah.
Okay. So one amazing thing about Telegram is that we can have groups up to 30,000 people big, and then we can also have channels that you can have 50, 100,000 people in. So we can advertise within those channels for a very low cost. And then inside the channel, you actually have a little button that takes you instantly from one group to another. It's one of the best things about Telegram. So we can work with the channel providers, work with the group providers to provide advertising inside the messenger platform to take people seamlessly and frictionlessly from one group or channel to our bot.
And how would this work in, let's say, more common IMs?
Well, it works the same. So in Facebook Messenger, when you click on another, like when you interact with the bot, it just opens up a new window in the next thing. So there are similar applications in different messengers. I just know that with Telegram, it's the most frictionless of them all.
Right.
You say that the biggest problem for online casino operators is the lack of trust. Why should they trust your product?
Well, it's not the lack of trust. It's more the trust between the user and the operator. So the user just has to trust that the operator is providing provably fair gaming. Now, that is covered within the license, but what we do is we allow the user to be able to access the seed so they can go back and find out that their games were actually provably fair.
So where will the customers see this?
So they can go back into the smart contract afterwards and take the private key, which is embedded into the smart contract, and then take that and then go place it into the seed generator, which gives them the seed, and then they can go see that the game was provably fair.
Yeah, I doesn't agree with you about this lack of trust, but I think it's very hard to get customers to go to to the smart contracts and because they're playing for 10 euros. But okay, thank you.
Hello? I don't think my mic's on. Hey, there. Hi. ARPU. What's your average revenue per user?
Right now, we're looking at, what is it, about $1 or $2 per user. But right now, we're only in the social game aspect. We haven't monetized it with a license yet, which we're doing right now. We're working with a few of the gaming authorities because cryptocurrency is brand new, and there's only one, which is the Isle of Man, who have definitive guidelines for getting cryptocurrency. We're waiting on Gibraltar, we're waiting on Malta as well too to provide regulation so we can move forward and choose the best license which suits us.
Okay, so maybe we can take a step back then and maybe zone in on who your current customer audience is.
Right, so our top customers are actually in South America, in Brazil, Russia, and India.
Okay, thank you.
I have a simple question. What can go wrong with your business?
I would say the biggest thing that we have to worry about right now is the future of regulations. We don't know what's going to be put out there for cryptocurrency. We have the Isle of Man who have provided cryptocurrency guidelines, but we don't know what the United States is going to do. We don't know what Europe as a whole is going to do. So, we're in the infancy stage of blockchain technology and adapting it to current legal structures and moving forward in a way, for at least in a gaming structure, which provides clear guidelines on how to adapt KYC, AML, good gaming standards, to adapt all these things into the game while still saying like in a good light of the financial regulators as well too.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
I have another question. What is the long-term value proportion for buying both tokens?
Well, the bot token is simply a utility token, so it only acts as the casino chip within the game itself. We're not a security, we're not an investment. It simply is there to use the platform, and that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. We've got to stop you there.
Thank you.
And if I could just ask the judges to mark out of 10 to keep up. Thank you very much. Next startup.
Next up.
Are we ready? Take a deep breath. Go. Is mic's not on? Can we restart the timer?
1, 2. Okay, sorry. Let's do this. My name is Philipp Geppert. I'm the co-founder and CEO of esports.com. And now the clicker's not working. Great. So what you see here is what's happening in the esports spot at the moment. In the last 4 seasons, we have basically gone from a few people sitting together, and now we have stadiums being filled by esports fans. So you probably all heard about this, but what you want to know is who are these customers? These customers are 60%, 25 to 39 years old, 42% are female. It's marketing's wet dream. Basically, it's the millennials. Now, what is the problem in the esports space at the moment? The problem is that the industry is fragmented. If you're an esports fan, you have to go to 5, 6, 7 different websites every single day to see what you want to see. Now, what we do as esports.com is we create a central hub for the esports interested. Now that we have built a content-driven community platform, the investors here will probably ask me, how are you going to make money out of it? How are you monetizing your customer? And this is what you see right here. We have 4 different business models we plug into the platform. We have an esports shop, which is basically like a marketplace. We have coaching lessons, so if you guys are great players, you can teach me how to become better. Because you can do that for any other sports, but not for esports yet. Then we have esports betting, which has to be revamped, so it's good for the audience. And last but not least, as you see, premium subscriptions, which is a very known model in the esports world at the moment. So this is basically how a portal looks. The trick is, don't let them just consume. These new customers, they want to be engaged. That's not working anymore. Ads in your face, not working anymore. So what we are doing is, as I said, content-driven. So we have 3 big major verticals. That is education, entertainment, and statistics. So basically, from beginner to the hardcore guy, we have everything. And when I'm talking about entertainment, I'm talking about, hey, you won the international, what do you do with the 2 million? What does your girlfriend say? Did you buy a new house? Because that doesn't exist yet at all. We were able to create a lot of really valuable partnerships with the ESL, Veltico, Bet90, you name it, ProSieben Sat.1 Media. So from that point, we are set very well. The most important part in this is now you have a great idea how you're going to put this plan into action. And we were able to create a team which consists from business, professionals, and esports enthusiasts, because that is the key. If you only have business people, they don't understand esports. If you have only esports people, they often don't understand business. So that is our solution for this. Now, I only had 3 minutes. If you have questions, come over to our chicken stand and ask us directly. Thank you for your attention.
Stuart, do you want to start, Stuart?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah. When people bet on esports, how is it different from boxing? Interesting to people, but no one ever makes any money on it.
All right, esports basically is professional video gaming.
No, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm saying, from a betting perspective, how is it different from boxing? Everyone offers boxing, but actually no one ever makes a penny on it.
The biggest challenge right now is to get the right algorithms, because you have the data in esports for betting, but you don't have the markets. For these markets, you will need the right algorithms. In basics, from the betting, it is not a difference if you bet on soccer, who scores the first goal, or if you bet who will get the first headshot in a game. But the markets in esports betting are not there yet, and the traditional companies do not present esports betting right for the target audience. If you want to have somebody who bets on your site, you can't just give him the old platform you do for the traditional sports betting. It doesn't work. I always say it's like trying to sell a 20-year-old girl your granny's panties, and that's what we are trying to do right now. It's not working.
In terms of the ICO, congratulations on hitting, I think you're about 6 mil or something like that?
Excuse me?
You're at about 6 million or something like that on the ICO, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
It seems to have stalled. I've been keeping a good eye on it. What's your anticipation of where you'll get to?
Well, the ICO which we are running is not running that well, but we don't need it because we are already fully financed for the next 3 years to come. We did a lot of things in pre-sale with traditional investors. One of the main things for us to bring in the token on the platform was that this gives us inclusion all around the world. So if something happens in the ICO, we are good. If not, it's fine. But we need that token on the platform so we can roll it out on a global level.
And who owns the domain name? That's owned by the business, is it?
Excuse me?
The domain name is owned by the business?
Well, yeah, esports.com.
And how much did it cost you?
Well, I won't tell you.
Just a question. In your white paper, you say you have a Maltese gaming license. However, in the SiGMA report, you say you doesn't have a license. Well, is it important to have a license?
It is absolutely important to have a license, especially in our field, because we have to fight underage gambling. That's a big, big, big issue for us. And we also believe that in esports, everything should be done through KYC. What we do in terms of the licenses, our partners, Bet90, they provide the licenses. Right now it's Malta, Belgium, and Portugal is coming.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions. One, how does this fit in terms of betting versus skill gaming?
Excuse me?
In terms of licensing, could this go the skill gaming path, or does this will definitely go within the gambling sector, or there's been a lot of talk about that?
Well, the thing is like that gaming or gambling in general is only one of our revenue streams, right? As said, you can't just produce a gambling product. This won't get to the target audience. What you need to is a fulfillment for the customer.
Yeah. In terms of underage visitors, if you have all these various products on the website, how do you sort of avoid the youngsters who can take part in some of your activities being exposed to the gambling product?
Well, this is the same problem every betting operator in the world has. So what we are doing is, we are doing a strict KYC process. You basically have two logins. One is for the platform, one is for the gambling. So it's not like if you are registered for the platform, you can immediately go to gambling. You still have to show that you're 18 plus.
Okay, so you said at the beginning of your presentation you're focusing on education, entertainment, and statistics.
Correct.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the education side of your platform?
Absolutely. At the moment when we are looking at esports, what it is that 300 to 400 million people will flow into that space in the next 2 to 3 years. A lot of people don't even understand what esports is. So we take them at the hand and we explain them the basics. That's the education part. But also the education part includes, as I said before, a coaching lessons platform where you can teach people how to play better. Then entertainment, we think that it's missing the really big entertainment. These people are filling out stadiums, but you don't know much about them. And the kind of journalism or editorial things which are done on them is by far not enough, especially for the target audience we're talking about. Last but not least, statistics are important because if you're a seasoned player, then you want to see what does your competition do, what do other competing teams do, like what do I do wrong in my play if I compare my statistics to yours.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're set. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, esports.com. And good luck. Our next presentation from Fan League.
It's fun.
Hey.
English football. The world's favourite game. I call it Paul. Away win, home win, draw. Each week I call it on 13 big English matches on the new Fan League app. What's your blood? Home win. I call it for my mates. I call it for the laugh. I call it for money. And the stats tell me who's rocking and who's shocking each week. Away win, home win, draw. Call it each week with your predictions on Fan League. Call 10 games right, you can win 10. Call 13 games right, you win big. 13. That's like less than 14. And if you get your mates to join in your tree, they win, you win if you played that week. And get your mates involved before someone else does. New Fan League, join in, be the first to win. I'm Paul, and I'm calling it. See if you can beat me. Call it, download the app, and join today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed investors. Marcus from Fan League, happy to be here. Fan League's mission is to connect fans globally and provide a social football experience in a league of its own. These pictures illustrate the core values of football, which is it's tribal, it's passion, it's competitive, but most of all it's social. We don't think the industry has properly logged into those core values, and Fan League will. Fan League is football's social network. Fan League is a social prediction app where you can do what you've always known, that you know football better than your mates. By inviting them to Fan League, start a league, compete and win weekly and seasonal cash prizes. We also incentivize and reward our players to recruit their friends by building the Fan League tree. And you can compare your stats versus your friends, versus the community, versus our professional pundits, including former England manager Sven-Göran Eriksson. Fan League is social. That means the social interaction, but it also means that we take our social responsibility seriously. You can play for as little as 20 pence. We cap the weekly deposit to £125 per person, and we donate 10% of our top line to charity. Fan League is football's social network. We will monetize this strategically over time from all the information we know about the player base. Who you are, where you live, what club you support, who have you invited to Fan League, who are your friends with, etc. We've only been around for 2.5 months. We launched 4th of September, our marketing campaign, and has since accumulated 21,000 players that have joined our community. The recruitment program so far, 4.5% of our players have recruited someone. In total, they've recruited 26% of our community. On average, 5.3 per person. But interestingly, 32% of someone that's been recruited has recruited another person. Geographically, UK is our core target market, but we want to get to the 1 billion people around the world that follow English football by expanding geographically, but also through revenue share partnerships with strategic partners. Thank you.
I have a question. What do you anticipate the pool winner to get when you're up and running fully? The prize?
Sorry, one more time.
How much would someone win?
Well, at the moment, we're guaranteeing the player of the week, someone that is the only one correctly pricking 13 out of 13, £5,000. Now, that will obviously grow as our community grows.
How much could it get to, do you think?
I mean, you know, compared to some of the pool betting games in Sweden, for example, in the Nordic area, if you're alone with 13 out of 13, you get €1 million.
Why would anyone do this rather than do Super 6 on Sky? £250,000 a week guaranteed.
Because it's social.
Right, but why would anyone do it?
Well, 21,000 are doing it at the moment, and we're growing by a rate of 1,500 to 2,500 per week, and we've only been around for 2.5 months.
So 600,000 people a week play Super 6.
Sure, I agree with that completely, but I think they don't have the social aspects. If you see our community, we
Maybe
can
they don't
chat.
need the social aspect.
We think there's a need for it, and so far we've proven right.
Okay.
Can I add to that? So I guess you're in the business of catering to people's more advanced nurturing of sports and their hobby. And another vertical there is daily fantasy sports and FPL. Why is your product much better for me as a soccer enthusiast to spend time with than FPL?
Very good question. I think, at least for me, I played fantasy sports for 10 years, the Premier League one. And it's always, my pattern is always the same. Super excited at the start of the season. Then you have a few weeks where you're very busy at work and you neglect your team, you come back, you lost out. You can't catch the winner. With our seasonal average and the prize pot at the end of the year, you measured on an average. So you can come in halfway through the season and still win a champion prize pot. In addition, I think it's always a bit more fun if there's some money behind it when you compete with friends and other people.
Right, but if you compare it to the daily fantasy sports, sort of, where is your edge?
I think it's the live experience around the football. All these social influencers around social media that follow English football. What do? They talk all week long about who's going to win on Saturday and Sunday when it comes to the Premiership and Championship. They don't really care about fantasy. They care about the real football.
Can I jump in?
Of course.
So here's some very bad Swedish pronunciation. How do you compare your product in comparison to Etros 4, 1x2 in the Swedish Monopoly product?
We are a better version of that, and we're taking it global.
And don't say social.
Pardon?
And you can't say because we're social.
We're a better product. We're a better version of it, that we're taking social, that we tweak the model, so not only do you compete per week, you compete throughout the whole season, which builds in a loyalty lever for us.
And at the moment, are you monetizing on your current audience base?
So 21,000 people have signed up so far. Our business model is that we sign them up with free game credits to start with, and then they move them over to placing real bets.
Isn't that a bit risky?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think people are going to want to pay for this?
Yes, so far they are. They sort of come in, they test it out, they can actually win real money with their free game credits, and then after a while they deposit real money, and that's the customer journey we want to go on with them now.
Thank you.
And can I ask you, what did you spend on marketing since go live? What is your CPA for this 21,000?
So our CPA is roughly 5 to 10 euros per player, so it's CPR, registered and verified player. And that a lot of that has to do with the influencers we go through, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook influencers.
Okay.
What's the lifetime value of your players?
I knew that question would come. To be honest, we don't really have that information yet, because the true lifetime value will be when we can see over time how many people recruit their friends and what they do. So at the moment, it's of course extremely low because of the strategy of giving them free game credits to start with. But we see very healthy development of people transpiring to deposit money, play for real money, and recruit their friends.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Would you white label it for a media partner, or what's your plan in terms of taking the business forward? Are you going to sort of add products to the vertical, like casino, other games and stuff like that? Or is your plan just this real focus on the football betting?
We will not add a casino to this product. We're something different. Then we will more work with strategic partners to monetize the community data we have. We have already signed 2 strategic partnerships when it comes to revenue share data, one in the Nordics and one in Africa, to help us spread the word, basically, spread the product.
Yeah. You said here that you was not trying to raise funding, but you are trying to raise some funding, aren't you?
That was the case a few months ago. We are in the market to raise capital now to continue to deliver on our strategy and accelerate on our growth.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good job. Good work.
Well done. So we're on the third one. Karma 5.
Hello? Oh, that works. Sorry. My name is Jonas. I'm a co-founder of Karmify. Karmify is an engagement platform that we hope will make a big change to how people engage and are retained and stay playing games. Sorry, lost it. We are based on a concept called freemium philanthropy, whereby we turn the time that people play video games into actual support for good causes as a mechanism for creating retention and engagement. It's very simple to integrate. It's a fully fleshed out technology. You simply integrate it into the game itself, and it enhances how the core metagame mechanisms in the game work, and how the freemium elements and even premium elements in the game enhance gameplay and retention and engagement mechanisms. Being socially responsible, we're able to turn this into actual substantial support to good causes. And we've been very successful in doing that and signing up over 40 cause organizations to help support the way we are moving forward. Our results to date have been very, very promising. In terms of acquisition and social sharing, the improvement has been really, really solid. On 7-day retention, we're up 6%. On monetization, we've seen an increase in 42% in in-app purchases in the games that we've been integrated into. Sorry. We see the market space for engagement and motivation that we're targeting as part of the $51 billion mobile game space. And we see the engagement portion of that worth about $1.7 billion. So far, we've been testing in games in the lower tiers, and we are actively integrating a game at the moment, which is significantly higher, has a significantly higher initial reach, and a much stronger metagame. So we hope to build on that. Where Karmify can go as a platform, we see that going beyond video games and mobile gaming into HR, CSR systems, employment motivation systems, even call centers, and beyond. As a team, we have a very long history. We've shipped 75 AAA titles in console, mobile, social. So we have a very strong background as a games team. And the ask that we are here for today is $500,000 at 18%, and we're very fortunate that we actually received a third offer on that yesterday.
Good job.
So, well done. Thanks for contributing to a good cause. Can you talk around user adoption? Of the amount of people exposed to your service, how many people is actually choosing to sort of use it?
Yeah. Our engagement rate, our day one engagement rate, is around 30%. Our 50-day engagement rate, we're hitting about 66, 67% in a 50,000 user A/B test.
Okay. And sort of on the platform side, so you're developing a platform yourself. And why wouldn't you rather sort of plug into the SDK of Steam and give them...
We plug into Unity, we plug into Steam, we plug into Unreal. If you have a website, we plug straight into that. So our SDK API, all set. We've spent the last 2 years building it out. It's very mature and ready.
Thank you.
So Robin stole my SDK question, so I'm going to ask something else. First of all, congratulations for finally doing something to help all our commutative karma here, which is good.
Thank you.
But the question is, what does the user, when the user is playing a game, are they engaging with this in any way? Do they see anything? Do they know what's going on?
It's a completely interactive system, and we're able to push on from the server side. So if it's iOS or Android without actually doing submissions, you're able to update our gamification layer in the product. And that means that we are able to display motivational elements. So if you have a game design and you need to improve motivational elements at certain pinch points, we can target those and work with you on making those better and more rewarded for the user. So if it's social sharing, for example, that's especially a big component for mobile game developers, simply because of the changes that Facebook has made over the years. It's very difficult to share that way. But we encourage that with a very good message of them actually contributing. For us, it's turning the actual rev share in this component into actual physical good. So it's not about giving $1, it's about giving a glass of water or a week of water to a family in need.
Look, I completely connected it to the philanthropy part of it, a big fan, but like, I think that's the way to get in, because obviously game developers have dozens of SDKs of various kinds offered to them at any given time, from A/B testing to any kind of other things. So this is the foot in the door. Talk to us about the stack of what you're going to offer them after you're in, because SDKs come in quickly and they get out even faster.
Yep. A lot of game developers, they put the metagame last in development, and that creates a problem. We can come in and help them and actually give them real-time access to their metagame, and we can change and augment that and support them. If they notice that after a week, well, we have a pinch point here, how do we improve that? How do we increase flow through and lessen the number of users that fall off? We can specifically target if it's a reward or if it's a highlight or it's a share component. We can specifically build that to help them improve how their metagame works.
And in terms of distribution, how are you, I saw conferences and things like that, but how are you reaching out to game developers?
Personally, I've been building games for 25 years, from being one of the original people at Bungie to working at IDOS to working on Hitman. And our team has done very similar things in the iGaming space, in technology space, and also in the game space. So we have a massive personal reach into the games industry.
Who's your biggest partner at the moment?
Sorry?
Which would be the biggest game that you've got running on the platform?
I would be happy to discuss that off stage.
Okay. I see that you have a vision to reach 1 billion players. Is that correct?
We want to turn 1 billion players into 1 billion philanthropists, because for them it costs nothing.
Yeah. And what is your biggest, what do you see as your biggest problems by rolling out this product?
That Supercell hasn't signed us up already, so we're doing 256 million a day.
Okay.
Problem.
Look, if we have 30 seconds left, can you quickly take me through the sort of financial mechanics? So I guess you don't really drive conversion, right? You drive lifetime value or game time. And sort of how do you convert that into some sort of revenue metric?
Yes, so we give the ability to increase retention, engagement, and monetization. In return, we work on a fairly simple rev share basis. So from converted users, we do an 80-20 split. Half of that, well, the 80% is retained by the developer, 10% goes...
Okay, I'm sorry, we can't finish your answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonas.
This is hardcore. This is hardcore. Next.
So, I'm Jens. I'm representing a startup company from London. We're a FCA licensed and regulated payments institution. This is all about payments. We operate a B2B2C payment option, and we basically have a worldwide international focus. We are MuchBetter. MuchBetter is our brand, and under this brand we operate a new next generation e-wallet. Our e-wallet basically is built by gaming experts and by payment experts for the gaming industry. That means we have a purpose-built payment product, and we're not a payment product that came to enter the gaming world, but actually was purpose-built for gaming around a number of problems that we've identified over the years that gaming operators are struggling, challenges that we're addressing and resolving with our payment product. We're taking payments to the next level, to the next generation. We're changing the way payments work in gaming. We're changing it for operators, as well as we change it from a customer experience and customer journey way for the customers. MuchBetter, our company, basically we're now in Europe and Latin America. We're signing up people and operators. We basically have a very unique commercial model. That model allows us to give an optimized sort of commercial setup to operators. We only charge on the net deposit rather than all deposits going in. So we only charge for the value that our payment system basically creates for each and every operator. If there is no value coming from our system, there wouldn't be any fees for the operator. We're completely self-funded, and we are 12 months old. We got the license, we've established the company, we passported across Europe, we developed our system, we've taken it to market, we've got more than 10 operators live today, and that's where we are today. What we look for in 2018 is basically scale. We need to scale both sides of the system, the community of connected operators and merchants, as well as the community of active users. We're secure, we're convenient, we're economical, and we're basically on the next level. We're using Rockstar technology. We're completely compliant with PSD2, GDPR, AML4, AML5. We're basically applying all the rules on a national level under the federal or EU legislation, but then transposed into local law. Basically, we will succeed. We look for scale. The journey has started. It will be massive. The success is there. The question is how quick.
Okay, good on time, good on time. We have questions from the panel.
I have one question. Are you looking for investors?
We might look for investors. We're equally interested in investors as we are in scale. Scale can come in any shape, form, or color. It could come through relationships, introductions, strategic partnerships. It could come through helping us on the investment side to build a scale, especially on the B2C side, where signing up clients and introducing them to the wallet and get repetitive usage is quite a challenging sort of activity.
Okay, so you are not looking for... How much money are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for about 2 to 2.5 million in investment.
Okay. I was saying no here, so that was I'm asking.
How does it compare to something like Adyen, Stripe, these massive payment companies?
So we're not a payment processor. We're a branded B2C payment product. We better compare ourselves to the likes of PayPal, Skrill, or NetTeller. We're using completely different technology. We're more scalable. We're cheaper in operation. We have a better commercial model, which the others can't copy because it would be breaking their mechanics at the moment. The way we created the customer journey is completely on mobile. That means we're using two-factor authentication, dynamic session tokens, no passwords, nothing to remember, nothing to forget. Everything is session-based. And that basically means that the customer journey is a one-touch only to make a safe payment, whereby we, as the payment product, completely indemnify the underlying merchant for the transaction.
And you mentioned you've got 10 partners at the moment. Are they mainly iGaming, that kind of area, or is it more even spread?
We start in iGaming because that's our comfort zone. So we all have a gaming background and a payments background. The 4 founders of the company basically come with almost 60 years of experience in this very market. So we've been around the block, we know what we do, and we said we need to take it to the next level because payments is still one of the biggest problems in gaming, and there's a lot of room for improvement.
You mentioned that the bigger players in the payment, they can't copy this. Can you elaborate a bit more? Because it sounds like anyone can use Apple Pay, anyone can use Google Pay.
Yes.
one-click identification is there, you know. So.
Okay, so there's a difference. If you use products like Apple Pay and Google Pay, then what's happening here is it's basically a MasterCard or Visa transaction. So you incur interchange, the merchant is paying interchange, there is an acquirer markup, and that basically defines the cost base for the transaction. If you run your own payment product, B2C, you build your own commercial model. You got to take into consideration your costs, but then you basically build the pricing and the commercial logic that you negotiate with your underlying merchant. Now, we have a customized commercial model that allows us to be individual. We're the first company to come up with customized commercial models by industry. And we basically said, value-based, we will only charge you when our system created the value to the underlying merchant. In gaming, that means the way a wallet works is money in, money out, money in, money out. Every time a dollar goes in or out the wallet, a fee is generated and basically paid for by the operator. Now, we look at the player level per month, and we say a customer might make 10 transactions to the gaming operator for 10,000 euros. At the same month, this very player is taking out 5,000 euros in 5 transactions. So we're netting these off, and we only apply our fees on the 5,000 difference. That is the value we created as a payment option for that merchant for that month.
Isn't that effectively a cosmetic move between where the charge is taken? If it's interchange or you call it something else. And in the bottom line, if you compare, if I'm using Addy and if I'm using this for the same amount of transactions in the same business, how would it pan out?
No, Adyen is a process.
Not Adyen, sorry,
okay.
and one of the others.
So, as I said, a wallet basically charges you on the way in and on the way out. We don't. The churning balance of a wallet creates a negative commercial impact for an operator. Paying a customer is not a revenue-generating activity for an operator, but it generates a cost. What we do with our model, we eliminate the cost of that activity, and basically, in comparison to the other wallets, we're about 70 to 80% cheaper on the same payment behavior and the same volumes.
I just have a question. Does your payment solution work equally well in regulated and unregulated markets?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. It's important.
I can see why an operator would care, but why would a customer care?
Because we're more convenient.
Convenient? No one cares.
Okay,
what's more convenient than Apple Pay?
Sorry,
what's
Stuart.
more convenient
Sorry,
than Google Play?
We're done.
I don't get it.
Sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you. We've got to keep to time.
So we're halfway there.
Grade this one.
And I'm sure you're still there, although it's very quiet out there. You're obviously listening very intently. And we've had some very good startup pitches right now. There's some great innovation going on, some new take on existing products. You know, as you know, they would say, the only constant in life is change. So, you know, you're always kind of pushing the boundaries. And on for the next pitch.
Let's get going. Thank you.
Hello. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, my name is Yuri. I would like to present to you PvP.me. PvP is a place where you can place bets on any video game titles.
Sorry?
I guess you all know about esports, but let me bring some really established numbers. We already have 300 million viewers all around the world, 100 local leagues, and numbers is growing daily. But all of these people are already involved in some gambling. 30% of the esports audience already bet or gamble, and in video gaming industry it's growing even bigger because more and more game publishers trying to introduce predatory practices, introducing gambling to the audience, which is really good for us. As these gamers face really lots of challenges in the market. Can you imagine that if you want to play based on football, you can only bet on FIFA events, no local tournaments, no local leagues, nothing. And you can't play on basketball, can't place bet on football, nothing. But also, another issue is that there is fast-paced changes in the gaming industry. New games usually have from half a year to 1 year time span, and by the time when the bookies are able to offer betting on it, gaming is already dead. Another issue is how streamers produce the content and people consume it. Lots of hours are consumed on Twitch and other platforms like that. So how does PvP solve these issues? We are the first and only esports-focused betting exchange, offering bets from the match announcement till the last second of the game. And we can cover basically any competitive games that is on Twitch, not only top esports titles, but smaller ones with still huge audiences, which exceeds the esports audience. Okay. Can you switch slides? Anyway, another product that we have is stream betting. So streamer himself controls the process of the bet. He can introduce the various questions to his audience, like what will be the next session he can do, any fun memes, and people in this way interact with the audience and allow another way to give excitement and involvement from watching the stream. Because for streams with like more than 1,000 viewers, it's almost impossible to be able to interact with the streamer himself. And in this way, people can do it. We also have some roulette and casino style games, which were surprisingly well received by the community. So early next year, we'll launch the esports bingo time. It will be really nice. With just 150,000 initial funding, we developed our platform. We are already 5 months into open beta. We got 50,000 monthly active users with 150,000 registered and almost $500,000 bet on the market. I think we are in the top 3 betting companies in Latin America and Spain. So our teams consist of really good professionals coming from the gaming industry, former team owners, ex-professional team players, as well as gambling experts. And we know exactly how to bring gambling to all the video games. Thank you.
Great. I'm going to kick off here. So how did you do with the last majors? How was the betting patterns?
Really good. Like live betting is fun. Most of the people are playing live. I think about 80% of all the bets are made live. And esports is really exciting in the sense that comebacks happen more often in football games. Team is losing 3-0, it's almost certainly it will lose betting, I think almost stops. But in esports, the balance of power can change significantly different times, and people try to benefit of it. We see lots of people trying to hedge their bets so they will profit in any type of outcome which is possible on exchange only. In that sense, I think the esports market is more suitable for exchange for live betting simply because of how the game flow.
And your current audience base?
Most of our audience is from Spain and Latin America. We started in this market because we got really good connections there. And yeah.
So, very impressive. Well done. Look, regulatory changes, not in terms of only licensing governments, but also in terms of the leagues. How do they sort of endorse your model, and which challenges are you facing?
Well, since all these tournaments are streamed on YouTube and Twitch, and these platforms kind of own the rights to the stream, they do not block any gambling websites. They want as many possible views as possible, so they in some way encourage you to place your stream on the website. As for other part of regulatory, the licensing, well, we got a Curacao license, which is pretty well for a startup, but in the regions where we cannot work with real money betting, we offered social betting, with people being able to deposit skins or buy social currency and withdraw money through our shop, like different games, goodies for gamers. Basically, it's tailored to what they want, what they need.
Okay. How much commission revenue per customer per month?
Per paying customer, you have about $10 commissions.
Come again?
Per month.
How much?
Sorry?
Come again, how much?
$10.
All right.
Per month?
Per month. From paying customers. The issue is like most of paying customers betting high, but we have a huge amount of so-called free riders, people who come just to get some free coins and bet. That's why we introduced another type of payment methods where they can fill service, do some different actions. We got some money for it, we give it to users and they bet on it. So even people who don't want to deposit real money or spend some cash can bet.
Where are the users coming from? Sorry.
That's right. How much does it cost you to acquire a customer?
Well, for us, it's really too cheap. The 140,000 users that we got, we spent $25,000 on marketing.
And where are these users coming from? What are the acquisition engines?
Mm-hmm. Well, we work mostly with direct influencers from influencers on Twitch, on YouTube. In this sense, they promote the service, they show how it works, they show how it's beneficial for user and what unique content it has. And people trust influencers more, like banner advertising or social media works relatively poorly compared to the YouTube and Twitch, because we have about 40% conversion rate from views to registrations coming from these types of traffic.
Do you take play from the US?
No.
Good.
You know.
Talk a little bit about your platform, your betting engine.
Yeah. Okay. We set up our initial odds based on our analyst team on the games that we know about, and if it's like relatively unknown game with no historical data, nothing, we just set up odds with 50-50, and then allow market to balance itself. And the problem of liquidity, which is the obvious one, we're trying to start with our bot system, helping people to get as low unmatched experience as possible.
What's your current most popular game that's being played? Is it still like LOL?
It's League of Legends. It's really huge in Latin America. And as for non-esports, it's PlayerUnknown's Battleground. It's really popular now. And stream betting brings most of revenue from this game on there.
How much is the user base balance between desktop to mobile at the moment?
Desktop is about 70% to us. And mobile is kind of funny. We tried to offer betting on mobile games like Clash of Nations, which is really huge, and it's streamed on Twitch. So we took a promoter who brought us about 4,000 live people. Half of them were kids, unfortunately, but others started betting on it, which is surprising. So even mobile games are markets that we're looking for.
You have a business card?
Yeah, come visit us, our stand.
Good stuff. Well done.
Who's comparable to you guys in the sector? So, I mean, we saw esports.com earlier. Is there anybody else that you look at and think they're doing something interesting in your space?
I'm not sure that I got your question. Sorry, can you repeat it?
So is there anybody that you look at in your sector that is you think could be a competitive threat?
Competitive? Well, all the other esports-focused companies are bookies, traditional.
We have to stop. We're going to stop you there.
Push.
Okay. Good job, good job. I'm hoping all the judges are keeping on scoring every time, yeah?
We're doing our work.
I'm not consistent.
Good work. Okay.
Changing all over.
Next startup, please. Here we go.
1, 2. So hello everybody. My name is Thomas. I am the founder and CEO of SnapScreen. I will divide this presentation in 2 parts and walk through the product vision during these 3 minutes and all the details about the company we just do afterwards, right? So let's go. What we do is we merge television and the internet and mobile phones. We do that by using the mobile phone's camera to detect what's on TV and put mobile apps, in this case for SiGMA, sports betting apps and maybe affiliate apps, we put them in the context of the game. In the case of sports betting, as you can see in this example, this is redirecting from, let's say, a match directly to the odds, right? It could be some other sort of application, maybe some sort of sports information application, where you maybe see this score or information about the players and stuff like that. Obviously, it's also very convenient. We think, and by watching the developments of Twitter and Facebook and all that, we think television and social media will be merging even more to what we have seen now. Again, SnapScreen does more than just sports and sports betting. It's not just, but obviously for the context of SiGMA, we focus on that right now. It's a component that gets integrated into apps. So we don't really sell we don't produce a consumer app. It's a B2B component and SDK that gets integrated. What we're also proud of is that it works very well with marketing campaigns. This obviously fits very well here for the affiliates conference. So we are able to integrate that technology into mobile websites. So it works on Android and on Safari, where you can literally, from your browser, snap any game. And in this example, we have an odds comparison website where you can then obviously choose your operator and go to the relevant market. That's, you know, a really, we think, innovative way of merging the enthusiasm and energy around the moment in TV and directly pointing to a context in mobile. We don't stop there. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz around lately in the whole messenger space or Telegram, etc. We also integrated this technology in our, as a demo. Obviously, as I said, we don't do any consumer products. we integrated this into our demo sports betting bot, let's call it. So literally, like, as if you would take a selfie, you take a photo of the television, and then send this photo to our, or to any B2B bot. The game gets recognized, and in this example, we see, for example, the information about the game, and you can place odds or bets straight away. And yeah, I'm actually done. Thank you.
How many installs you got?
Excuse me?
How many installs have you got on the app?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
How many customers have you got on the app? How many installs?
Okay, we are very close to signing the first customers. It's still pre-revenue, unfortunately, but
Okay.
it will be fine.
You said it takes a month to integrate, so it's not an SDK, it's a complicated integration. A month sounds like kind of a long time.
Well, a month is not that, not really on our end. It's just a month to be realistic, right? Till somebody in a company makes a decision to integrate something. So our time is pretty low. Literally, as of now, you can go to the website snapscreen.com, and there we have a developer section where there are all the links to the SDKs and everything. Having said that, there is a bit of a back office work to do from our end when we kind of like enroll a new country, because we need to connect to all the TV signals from that particular country. But usually this is around 1 month. We have done that already, so that's a realistic estimate. Thanks for the question.
All right, so can you take me through the tech play here? So which image recognition software are you using? It is all proprietary. What kind of machine learning? How do you do it?
Well, there's, I know it sounds really unsexy, but in this product there is no machine learning. I know it's a new buzzword. You can do this without machine learning. What we do is a technology called template matching. It's proprietary. We developed that ourselves with with a pretty strong tech team. I myself, my background is computer science. I did a few startups in the past. I don't know if you know Last.fm, for example, the internet radio, where I was a founder.
Yeah.
So technology, that's what we usually are good at.
And you mentioned that you would take 1 second from you snapped the event until you had delivered, I guess, the matching. Take me through that. How do you achieve that?
No problem. So what we do is we take the photo.
Yeah.
We, on device, calculate something that's called a fingerprint, a bit like what Shazam is doing, right? They also calculate the fingerprint. This fingerprint gets sent to our backend, where it's matched. The result of that match is the information which TV channel at what time aired this particular picture. With this information, we then go to all the sports airing data, and we know, okay, on, I don't know, Sky, at 8 o'clock, it was Manchester versus Barcelona, for example, right? This is the kind of like, so it's very fast and scalable.
I'm struggling a little bit to understand like the requirement here. Like you're watching TV and you take a photograph of TV. There seems to be like a bit of a disjoint journey. Like it feels like from a technology perspective, we should be a little bit automated in this process already. Like I, as a customer, am keen already, a bookie already knows I'm watching this match and they're sending me data regarding that. Like taking a photograph and then sending it. Just what's the strength? What's the proposition to the customer?
Well, if you're like, let's say, if you're like a professional bettor and you know your team is going to play fair enough, it's probably not required. But we see it as a piece of entertainment, right? You're in a sports bar, you want to show something cool to your friends, or you just want to inquire whether that works or not, right? And one step backwards, as I said, we are doing this as a general mechanism for linking television and the mobile and the internet, not only for sports. Imagine you're watching a fashion TV channel and we're also, for example, talking to a few fashion TV channels, or you're watching some advertising, or you're watching any other show, and we would be integrated, let's say, in a TV app or a second screen app, where we will be, then it makes total sense to not look in the app through, what was playing yesterday at 3 p.m., which this show was.
It would seem easier to get the data from the smart TV. Most people are using smart TVs. Theoretically, you can get the channel from there instead of having to snap it.
Well, true, on a smart TV. I mean, whether it's a smart TV or not doesn't matter, but you still have to click on the information button. then you go to your mobile, start Googling it. So this is the kind of like process we automate.
Right. And what is the reliability of the service? Out of 100,000 photos, how often do you match the event?
Well, we haven't tested with 100,000, but with around 1,000. And it's below 1% the fail rate.
Okay.
And it gets better. That's where we actually will start using machine learning. It will get better the more data we gather, obviously, the old catch-22.
And it is only if I take a picture of the TV, if I was actually at the game or something like that, does it work in other sort of environments?
No, it has to be the actual TV. So that's, in that sense, it's limited to that.
Okay.
Okay, we have up posts. Penultimate.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So now what I'll do is... No, there's this and this. No?
Do we need to switch on the mic?
Wait. You're on one minute. Is that anything for you? Yeah, set the right one.
We're ready to go?
Hello, 1, 2. Hello. Hi, I'm Bjorn from Triggy. Happy to be here. What if players could live bet before the game starts? What if operators could have a communication tool that only push relevant communication and personalized communication to the players?
Activate the microphone.
What if operators could engage players by offering a new and engaging betting experience that increases revenues? Triggy is a B2B white label software that brings real-time data, statistics, and player strategies together. It does so by allowing players to schedule future if bets, or Triggy bets as we call them. Triggy is in fact your own betting butler that places bets for you on events that you schedule. As a simple example, I can place a Triggy bet on the home team to win if the home team scores first. Triggy will then take care of that action for me. On the screen behind you, you can see the different triggers that you can use to place a scheduled bet on football. The triggers are odds, goals, match time, cards, corners, possession, and lineup. And you can use these different triggers together or separate. So with Triggy, players can actually live bet before the game starts. Players will typically place several Triggy bets on one game to cover multiple scenarios. By scheduling bets, players will be able to live bet on many games at the same time to increase the turnover. They can also place bets on games when they can't watch for some reason. We foresee that the typical Triggy player is a savvy player that has the LiveScore app downloaded, that follows the leagues closely, has a high turnover, and also very profitable for the operator. He's what we would typically refer to as a VIP player. Another thing that Triggy does really well is to open a natural and relevant communication channel to the players. So as a complement to generic bonus emails, Triggy will help the operators send targeted notifications and emails with content that's personalized. And every event brings multiple upsell opportunities with these notifications. Operators will also be given an administration tool to handle risk management targeted to the Triggy bets that they place. The tool lists active bets, and through the tool, the operators can predict their future potential liability.
So this is integrated with the bookmaker's software. You're not actually holding any money, right?
No, that's correct.
Okay. The thing that interests me is that you've talked about savvy customers, people who play regularly, people who you might consider a VIP.
Yeah.
The issue is that for most bookmakers, that's the worst kind of customer. Why would they want this?
Well, I think we target them in a different manner. So a VIP player is a player that does not necessarily win money from you. It's a player that loses money but turnovers a lot. So you have of course your arbitrage players and your wise guys that might win money from you. And with the admin tool, you can actually reduce the risks by not letting them play as much as you'd like to on Triggy.
So you give them a way to play and then you take it away?
No, you can limit them.
Interesting.
So I think you got the use case wrong. I don't think this is a B2C product. I think it is a B2B product.
It's a B2B product.
It's a rules engine with a sexy UI, right? I would be very happy to integrate it as a bookmaker and as a platform provider, but I wouldn't want my users to have it. Yeah.
Okay, I disagree, because you can actually peek into the future to see what the liability is, and you can actually set the odds based on it in the future.
Yep.
Oh, that raises another question. They're placing these bets beforehand, but the odds for this will change. They placed it at one price, but during the game, the price changes.
Of course it does, and you can...
So which price does the customer get?
The price that the operator gives them at that given time, not when he places the bet, not when he places the Triggy, but when the bet's actually placed. You can use an odds trigger to say that I will only place this bet if the odds is above this. But you don't have to. You can actually just take the odds given to you.
Yep. But so I, as a sportsbook, I have to give you an API and push my odds to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you please describe your income model in a bit more detail?
Yeah, it's a GGR share. So we take 5% of the GGR generated through the Triggy bets placed.
How much?
5% on GGR.
How many customers have you onboarded so far?
None so far. We are pre-launch.
How long to launch?
About 4 weeks until we can integrate.
Okay. So it feels like you're formulating your business model around like products like IFT or auto robot advisors, kind of robot betting. What is that the strategy?
Yeah, it's bringing trading to an average user that can actually create strategies for how he wants to bet. That's correct.
I think you need to be very careful with the way you identify your customer, because you've just said average user and before you said VIP. So I think you need to define that, and not to waste more time on that point right now, but just take that as feedback.
Thank you.
Who's your ideal customer?
SBO, Pinnacle, and of course SPTech and providers like that can push it out to a lot of operators.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the user segmentation issue is going to come up. I think Carla mentioned it, but either you're going to get the very high-end punters that the bookies hate, or I would imagine the low-end ones wouldn't want to use something that they're not literally watching the game and enjoying the act of betting. They're not going to bet in their sleep. So I'm not going to repeat the question, but just to emphasize that I think that needs some more investigation.
Sure.
In your opinion, which would be the best market? Is it, do you think this is a Scandinavian sort of
No, not at all. So UK, Asia, Turkey, and markets where you actually bet to bet and not for a casual thing.
Okay.
Can you use your product for other sectors, not only sports betting? Is it?
Yeah, that's so. Yes, we could use it for the financial markets as well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
We have, yeah.
Is that next step?
That's the next step in a separate company underneath Triggy.
Yeah.
How many goals at the moment? You said you've got a number of goals. How many goals do you plan to roll out to eventually? How many goals? How many triggers?
Triggers, yeah.
Yeah, so that we don't know. It depends on what the demand is. But the next trigger we're bringing out is an automated cash out. So you could, for instance, say that if I have reached 80% of my potential win on this bet, in the 80th minute, it will cash out automatically for me.
I got one quick question. When you place a Triggy bet, does the money come out of the customer's account? So then it's no longer available, so the trigger may not fire, but they've now got no money in their account to bet on something that has happened.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, so you set the Triggy bet up first, you've spent 50 quid. Now the trigger doesn't fire, but you've got no money left.
You don't ring fence the money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had good job. Okay.
Vi går bare op.
Off you go.
Kom.
Hello. Today you have live sport 24/7, creating millions of sports data, but also creating millions of opportunities for companies to engage and entertain their users. 2 weeks ago, Denmark played the most important match in 8 years, and they won. So let's see how companies actually follow this. We took... Oh. You can take the goal one more. We took the liberty to look at what the Football Association did to cover this match. They didn't do anything on social media. They have a Twitter platform where they actually have 500,000 users and didn't do anything. So we looked at a bookmaker, which was Unibet. They have 900,000 users, fans in Denmark, and they didn't do anything. Then we took a look at the national broadcaster. They did something. They have a live blog, but it's only text, and it's 5 minutes delayed.
So such a coverage is unfortunately not uncommon, and the reason is it seems almost impossible for bookmakers, media, clubs, anyone to follow up with all the live events going on and convert it into relevant, cool and fun content that can be published in social media.
When we started this idea a year ago, when we wanted to build a platform, we actually find an inspiration in the Minority Report, where Tom Cruise pulls in all the data and solves a crime. So we want to do the same with sports data. On to you.
Yeah, so basically what we built is a solution similar with the idea of Minority Report, where you have a dashboard with all the data coming from sports event visualized, and you can just pick the widget you want to publish instantly. So what we do is in real time we collect all the data, filter it, analyze it, present it for you, and make it available for publishing instantly. You have the dashboard, you can search all the content you want to in real time, and the best part is that you can actually with one click publish in all your social channels, and you can even automate it so it appears automatically. Thanks.
Questions?
So, yeah. So you're producing the sports information, you're doing it real time.
Yeah.
And you're selling this capability to broadcasters or to bookmakers or to who?
To league owners, to clubs, to bookmakers, to media clients, anyone who wants to have real or live sports content nicely visualized at their hands for instant publishing. So it's not only producing, it's also a publishing platform. So most of our clients using it today actually use the automation feature. So they set up all the you can say the campaigns, define what they want to show, and the platform will do the publishing for them.
And publishes it where?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even in live blogs on the websites. So it's a solution to, do more, do it with less, but do it much better, because instead of pure text, you can have an animation, you can have a a player image, as you just saw with Christian Eriksen. You can, if you're a bookmaker, you can have your live odds added into the post. So it basically handles all the difficult parts of finding content, analyzing it, visualizing it, and also optimizing it for the different formats you need, Twitter, Facebook.
Do you have live customers?
We have a number of customers, a few big customers using it to sort out all the bugs. The most well-known is the Danish Soccer League, using it for all its social posts in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We have some clubs and some media also.
So basically, if there's a bunch of publishers or broadcasters that are connected to it, they would have to customize it so not all of them are showing the same content. What can they customize?
Actually, it's a little bit tricky, but you should see a widget as 10 layers. You have a data composition, you have a basic style, you have images you want to use, like a player image. You have data you want to put on the top of it, and all these layers can be customized and set up front. So if you are West Ham, it will look in one color. If you're a bookmaker, you may be afraid of the player images, so you go without the player images, and you have a more neutral assets in the. So all this is automated for you.
What does it cost?
Start cheap, and then you can add leaks, and you can add, you can say widgets or visualizations. But for a basic fee is €1,500 a month plus a setup fee.
But it also depends on the data. On the depth of the data that you want. If you want to use stats.com data, of course it will be more expensive.
Right.
You don't have your own stats?
Sorry?
You don't have your own stats?
Oh, no.
No.
So we collect millions of sports data from these main providers. We don't produce them ourselves.
But you don't have distribution rights, so I would need to procure my own data deals in order to apply your software.
In theory, yes. Of course, we need to take in data live. Yeah. We need to understand the data structure. But we deal today with Opta, Stats.com, eNetPulse, so we have all that in place.
All right. But I own a football club, right? And we don't have much money. And if I'm going to buy your software, how am I going to make it work?
No. You log into the dashboard. We set up the styling for you. You decide which widget you want to have in your package, and off you go. No technical integration, no nothing. It's off the shelf instantly. Okay. A club gets its own account, league gets its own account, a media gets its own account.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
And we're on to the last one now. But not least. Well done.
Please.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. Wow. Hello there. My name is Ivan, and I'm the founder of RunCPA. It's the first affiliate network for crypto economy. Since 2015, we supply crypto businesses with new paying customers on a CPA and revenue share model, and we help our partners. It can be Bitcoin enthusiasts, bloggers, media, or professional traffic owners monetize their skills and spread the word on crypto. Right now, we're a successful business with 3 years history. We bring 20,000 new paying customers into the industry. We use our own anti-fraud solutions. We had amazing retention rates among our business owners, among our advertisers. It's 98%. And we show great month-to-month growth these days. We were the first company on the market, on the affiliate market in general, to implement instant payouts of affiliate rewards to publishers. Normally, it takes weeks or even months to get your money because the advertiser must check everything, then the affiliate network checks its stuff, and then comes banking and processing. Instead of 30 days, we do it in 30-second maximum. That was the first innovation. This year, we're fighting against the next big issue in the industry. It's conversion shaving and mistrust among the parties. Normally, there is no way for publisher to check if he was fully paid or the network gets some conversions to it and hides it. With blockchain, with F-chain project, no affiliate network can hide any money from its partners because all the conversions can be clearly seen and checked by blockchain. RunCPA will be the first platform to implement F-chain project as the new industry standard. We expect our first deploy in February, and ICO will come further. So what else can blockchain bring to affiliate industry? It's smart contracting. The opportunity for automated software to make a decision without an operator if the conversion is fair, should it be paid or should it be reviewed further. This reduces the role of advertiser in making a decision to pay or not, and it brings more and more transparency to the industry. With smart contracting, there's another great thing to come is the operational effectiveness. If we don't need operators to check the data manually, we can reduce the average commission for affiliate network commission from 30% to 10% and maybe even less to the future. So these are the three things we're working on. We're expecting to deliver our solution by February, and ICO will come further. So stay tuned for detail. And any questions?
Yeah, I've got one. Typically, well, at least in sports betting, the value to the affiliate is calculated on the profit that the firm makes. That's not calculated instantly, so why would they care about being paid instantly? They can't even calculate it. It's done over a period of time. There is no instant value to the bookmaker, let's say, so why should there be an instant value to the affiliate?
Well, we have really a lot of cases in affiliate marketing. If we talk about sport betting, until the event is here, the revenue share cannot be paid. So for this particular case, the idea is to pay it right after the sport event is finished. So we don't need more time for checking everything.
Right, but it's not done, it's not calculated when the event is finished, it's calculated at the end of a month or the end of a longer period because it's to do with the profit across all of those bets. Or losses.
What we're trying to implement is the revenue share model, which is based not on the monthly performance or performance for a longer period, but instead for short events. So mostly we pay revenue shares after each bet is won or lost. But there's an interesting case we'll have to work on it further.
Yeah. Well, again, I think there's definitely something in terms of paying quickly, instantly, if you will, for a referral. Maybe that's a small payment and then something else bigger later, but I think that the speed piece of it may be of little interest to
So betting is not. For example, for purchasing credits from banks, they need like 2 or 3 months to process everything, the lead. There are cases when speed is not the best thing to work for. That's why we talk about conversion shaving and the elimination of the affiliate network, the possibility of the affiliate network to hide this money.
Yeah.
That's another big thing here.
So I think your idea is brilliant. Well done. I think it is very, very smart, and you might have something here, very disruptive. Now, take me through the integration as an operator. Sort of how do I get my quick bets onto the blockchain using your system?
Well, we're doing our best to keep the standards of the industry as it is. So we work with all kind of the way the data is transmitted. So there's nothing to be changed for any affiliate network to implement the data, the
Wouldn't my
protocol.
wallet have to be in the blockchain?
Sorry?
Wouldn't my wallet have to be in the blockchain? How?
No.
How would you result those bets?
Well, I think I need to talk about it more.
All right.
But it will take time, so I will ask this privately if it's okay for you. This is a long story.
So walk us through your ICO. Where are you at the moment?
We're working on the prototype, and we expect our ICO to begin by March. That's why I'm not sharing the detail about it, because it might change.
Will your token be an instrument for the affiliate payments?
But what, sorry?
The token you're creating, will it be an instrument for the affiliate payments you will do?
Yes.
Yeah.
So our primary customer who will implement the software is the affiliate network.
And how many tokens will you raise?
Sorry?
How many tokens will you be issued?
We think about 100 million tokens. They can be separated by more digits, but the concrete parameters will come later, as we're closer to the date.
Yeah.
If I announce it like 3 months before, a lot of things can change.
Is that for sure 100 million, or are you not sure?
Kind of sure.
Yeah, kind of sure. Okay. Yeah.
What's the discount if you come in early?
Well, we offer 50% discount for a closed pre-sale, and we also offer smaller bonuses for the first days of the ICO.
And are you taking commitments for that now?
We'll open it in December.
Any more questions?
One more, I think, no?
Are you based? Where are you based?
We have 2 offices in St. Petersburg, Russia, and in Czech Republic in Prague. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Well done. Okay.
All right, so we've reached the end. And just to recap a bit, the way this all started, we had 40 startups initially submitting their plans, filtered down to 10 startups whom we've seen and we've heard the pitch today, 6 key investors, and we're going to only have 1 winner. So what we're going to do now is we're going to collect the votes, we're going to take them down to the counting hall, and we're going to come back with a winner. But I think we should all give a round of applause for the startups and all of them who presented. Well done, everybody. Very disruptive, very engaging, some innovative stuff. And thank you to the judges for your time and for your questions. See you soon.
This year, SiGMA exceeded everyone's expectations, and I think it has really raised the bar.
SiGMA is a great platform to exhibit and to engage some new partners.
The feedback from all different types of attendees at SiGMA has been so positive, which is fantastic for us.
Good licensed operators all in one spot, and it seems that everybody's very keen to do business.
It's been a fantastic opportunity to come out and meet our partners. Had a great time, met a lot of new operators, met a lot of affiliates.
Pleasure to be at SiGMA here in Malta today, talking about daily fantasy sports. We had a really good discussion on stage earlier.
We've had a number of conferences, we had some very good conferences happening, and a proper selling opportunity for us.
It's obvious getting bigger and bigger and well known around the world.
It has now become one of the most important calendar of events in the iGaming sphere.
So, we're Some voice, please. Thank you. We're still on the way and doing the counting, and I said there's been some disruptive stuff, some innovation. I mean, anything maybe the judges want to add, or what you've seen, things you've been impressed with?
Yeah, I quite like esports.com. I thought the domain's quite a nice domain. And, they've got an interesting opportunity with that, especially if they add the betting. I'm not so sure about the shop and all the other stuff that they're looking at, but
yeah.
I thought that was an interesting one.
Great. And I know you've mentioned Karmify before and all the philanthropy. That was, I think, an interesting concept too.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of anything that kind of gives back. I know it sounds a little corny, but we don't get a lot of opportunities. If this can help in some capacity, and the mobile games market we're very active in, and it's huge. And so many people spend so much time and so much money playing. So
Yeah.
if we could do something with that, I have to say also I like the blockchain used for the affiliate network. I think it's something that has a very specific need that will fill. So I'm a fan.
And the man himself.
Yeah, it's been a lot of interesting companies presenting today. So yeah,
You're happy
curious
with the outcome.
to see the winner.
You're curious to see. And
Yeah.
Carla?
Ivan, if I told you everything, then these guys will go in for my investments.
She's a wise one. She's a wise one.
No, seriously, no. I think the AF chain is really interesting. I think that is innovation there, right there, and it's nice to see something like that on the stage here today. And apart from that, I mean, PvPme, I mean, they've been doing this for a while. We've seen them on stage a couple of times at other events now. You can see that their growth and dedication as entrepreneurs is certainly there. So that's nice to see that they're still pushing towards their goals.
And I can see that in your mind there's some investment brewing.
Yes.
I can sense it.
You know me too well.
I know you too well.
So I think it's so good to see that the gaming industry is embracing new technologies. We had image recognition, we had blockchain. It's looking bright.
Good. Excellent. You were tough today.
I was
could
asked to
tell.
be tough. The guy here said, be brutal. So I was
You've
only
obeyed the
doing-
brief to the full.
I was only doing what I was told. I really liked the data visualization stuff. I thought there was something in that.
Yeah.
So, very good.
Excellent. All right. Dave, have we got a winner?
We have a winner.
We have a winner, but we haven't got a mic.
Do you want to do it?
I'm sorry?
Okay. And the winner is... Are you all there?
Tense. It's tense.
I know it's difficult because there's a lot of sound at the back. And the much coveted SiGMA Startup Pitch Prize goes to PvPMP. When are you flying back home? When are you flying back home? Because it's heavy stuff, so I don't know how this is going to fit in your hand luggage.
Well done to
done.
PvPme. Very close, I have to say. Very close. Well done to everyone.
Very close. Yeah, Dave, tell us about it a bit.
It was very close.
Take us through the numbers.
I think we'll keep the numbers, but it was very close. There was only 1 point in it in the end. So you did well. You did well. Very competitive. Good job.
You were nervous?
I was nervous,
No, you're not nervous. All right. Have a good chisk afterwards. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next year then. Thank you for being here, and thank you, judges. Well done.